Three things we got to address when starting off this video. Number one, I'm a quarter zip guy now. I drink matcha. Number two, yes, my room looks a little bit different. You might be wondering, oh my god, what the hell happened to the manga collection? Well, let me just show you. High key, I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. I moved the other two bookshelves into a different room. This room has always been like my YouTube office room, and it was just really like crowded. So I moved the bookshelves away and I put my desk here, and then I have one bookshelf with like all the series I really fuck with. And yeah, I like how it looks. Some of you guys might be bummed and say, oh no, the manga collection is gone. It's not gone, it's just in a different room. I just wanted to decorate my room a little. I really like how it looks, okay? I'm not changing it back, whatever. And then number three, the most important thing, number three, I haven't done one of these videos in a while where I talk about the mangas that I've read in a month. The main reason for that was, honestly, I was getting a little burnt out. I was reading so many mangas at such an excessive rate that I just kind of got tired, and I needed to take a step away from reading a bunch of series. Pretty much, don't take your passions and the stuff that you really enjoy in life and try to monetize them like through a YouTube channel or through a business. You're gonna suck the joy out of it. But now you might be like, so why are you making this video? Well, I'm a hypocrite, and I read a bunch of manga this month, and honestly, I just wanted to talk about it because I have no one to talk to about some of the things that I've been reading. So I figured, you know, do you want to hear what I have to say? The first manga that I went ahead and checked out this month was Vinland Saga, which is a series I have already read start to finish. I gotta say, for anyone who hasn't checked out Vinland Saga or is currently in the process of getting through it, it's a banger start to finish. It's my second favorite series of all time. It would be my first if One Piece wasn't a thing. I genuinely adore it, and I think the character of Thorfinn in itself, he is such an incredibly well-written character in manga. Anyway, I didn't actually read all of Vinland Saga. I primarily read one arc of the story, that being the slave arc, which is season 2 in the anime for reference. I actually skipped over season 1 or the first arc because though I like it, I just think the second one is so much better. The slave arc is so phenomenal, just in its storytelling and the way it sets up the building blocks for what Thorfinn's character is going to be in the story moving forward. I just think it's written so absurdly well. I also find that this story arc in particular is the one that I turn to whenever I feel moments of like I'm lost in life. Seeing Thorfinn's struggles and his lack of purpose in life, he doesn't think he has anything to live for. And as this arc progresses, you slowly see this man change. Despite him even thinking that he can change, he does. It's just such a beautiful story. I've probably read through that arc specifically like 7 times now because it's just that good. I have started reading the next arc after that, but honestly, I just didn't keep going. Instead, I got caught up reading a couple of other series. The next series I ended up reading, I recorded the rest of this video yesterday, but then my camera audio died. That's so awesome. Damn it, dude. The next manga series that I read, I actually read the entirety of it, which is pretty cool. It wasn't that long of a read. The reason why I chose this manga specifically was for 2 reasons. The first one being everybody in my comment section is always talking about this manga. They are always telling me to check it out. So I figured it has to be good. The second reason being because they've just been sitting in a box in my room for like the past 1 or 2 months. Pretty much. The manga I'm talking about today is Alice in Borderland. And I got the entire manga series for my cousin. And the original plan was to give him everything that I got him, which was a lot of manga, but well, stuff happened and too much to explain. I have a video where you could go see why he didn't get the manga. Regardless, anyway, they've been sitting in a box in my room for the time being, and I figured since they're in my possession, might as well go ahead and check it out. And wow, the series, I really liked it. For anybody who doesn't know what Alice in Borderlands is about, the closest comparison I can make to it is probably Squid Games. Though it's not exactly like Squid Games, there is a lot of similarities in which the characters, the main characters of this story and in Squid Games, they play games that are life or death scenarios. Now, here's where Alice in Borderlands differs from Squid Games. Alice in Borderland is not a story about poor people that are being taken advantage of by the rich. Rather, Alice in Borderland starts off with us following our 3 main characters that are high school students. They are talking with one another, they are dissatisfied with life, and all of a sudden, right in front of them, this firework goes off and they are transported to this other world. And if that sounds crazy, trust me, it is. It's a crazy ride the entire way through. I really like the story of Alice in Borderland. And I think it does a really good job in gripping you right from the beginning. I'm not gonna talk about any spoilers, but I will say my favorite moments of the story is the first third and the last third. There is a section in the middle that I wasn't the most fond of. It felt a little aimless, pointless. It felt like stuff was happening in the plot just to happen. But also as I dove deeper and deeper into the story, I saw why some of these choices were being made. So I feel pretty good about it, but still, I did start losing interest towards the center of the story. I felt like it was losing its momentum a little bit, but the ending does really save it. This story has a pretty good ending. Also, the ending kind of snuck up on me, not gonna lie. I felt like this manga was really short. Even though it's 9 volumes long, and it's omnibuses, so technically 18 volumes. I don't know, I felt like we didn't get a lot of content. There was definitely a lot more that could have been done with this story. That's kind of my only big complaint with the series. It had so much more potential than what it lived up to. Let's talk about the main characters. They're pretty decent in the story, though none of them are going to really leave a lasting impression on me past probably this month. I did really like Arisu and his character development throughout the story. Though at some points, I did feel like it was a little surface level. I think the real appeal of this story isn't the characters itself, but the actual games, because they are pretty clever. A lot of these, I genuinely just had no idea what the main characters were gonna do to get themselves out of these scenarios. And overall, I think I'd give this story a 7.5 out of 10. And now the final manga I'm planning on talking about today is The Fable. This is a story that I have been dying to check out ever since I read the first 5 chapters in one of my manga recommendations videos like 3 months back. This is a story about a pro hitman, some guy who could definitely kill you if he was hired to do so. Now going about his next mission, which is gonna take a year to complete. And that mission is not to kill people, you know, not to murder or do any of the stuff that he's usually hired to do, but rather to go into hiding and live a normal life. Honestly, sounds kind of interesting, but also kind of sounds boring. Like really, we're setting up this incredibly powerful character and you want him to just live an average life? That's what we're going to be spending our time reading? We're gonna watch him like go get groceries? Though the premise doesn't really seem like the most interesting thing in the world, I gotta say, this has been one of those stories that I just cannot put down. I really like this thing. I haven't finished it yet. I'm currently on volume 8. I own 9 out of the 11 volumes that there are. So I'm past halfway, but I still don't know how it ends. Maybe it fumbles at the end, who knows? But for the time being, I've had a really great time with The Fable. A couple of reasons for that. The first one being, I just think the writing is really solid in this story. These characters do feel real. They have flaws. They have little quirks. They have just a fun familial dynamic with one another. While I complained about in Alice in Borderlands that the characters kind of felt a little, not the most interesting people to read about, this is a story that only works because of its characters. If you don't like these guys, you probably won't like this story. This story is definitely a lot slower than some of the other things that I have read previously to it. I don't think that's a bad thing. And if you are looking for that action-packed hitman stuff, you definitely do get it in this story. I'm not gonna say or elaborate on it anymore because that is spoilers. Pretty much every single one of the characters that has been introduced in the story, whether I like them or not, I at least appreciate their inclusion in the story. Some of these people are really weird, but also that's kind of how humans are. We aren't perfect. We're all different, and some of us can do some really weird stuff. This is definitely not a story made for kids. Some of the stuff that goes down in this manga is genuinely like, what? Though I really like the main storyline that involves Fable, some of the other side characters, whenever we have chapters dedicated to them, I find myself drawn to those more. And that just goes to show how great the world is in this story. Throughout this entire thing, I genuinely haven't had a moment where I felt bored or uninterested. And honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, there's only been like 2, maybe 3 major arcs that have gone down. And the story takes its time to build each one of them up, slowly adding onto this narrative, letting you know everybody that's involved, and then having it all lead up to this climactic explosion of fun. I think the vast majority of people watching this video would probably appreciate Vinland Saga or Alice in Borderlands more than The Fable. I don't think this is a story for everyone. Maybe everyone won't like it, but for me, I don't know. There's just something about it that I really appreciate. I've been having a really fun time with this. And honestly, so far, 7 volumes in, I would give it a 9 out of 10. It's genuinely really good, very fun. And also the artwork is just so nice to look at. What have you guys been reading? Let me know down below. Anyway, subscribe. Thank you for watching. Bye.